Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here, and today I want to talk about Wildfrost because this game is really cool. I'm going to start by saying that I'm not normally one for card-based games, deck builders, that kind of thing. It's just not normally my kind of game. I have, however, in the past played a few card-based games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon card game, Runeterra, so I'm definitely at least somewhat familiar with them, but largely speaking, it's not a type of game that I normally gravitate towards. However, when a game has a fantastic art style and there are also roguelike elements, then your boy is definitely interested. Also, this is a game that is published by Chucklefish, and invariably when Chucklefish's name is attached to something, whether it be a game they have made or published, I am generally pretty interested because they just work on awesome titles. So the awesome people over at Chucklefish very kindly gave me access to a demo build of this game. Keep in mind this is a work in progress. Some of the assets in the game are not currently in place, but it does give me a chance to dive in and actually test out how the game plays, and honestly I am pleasantly surprised. This is a game that on paper would not necessarily be my kind of thing, however having played it I have had a bunch of fun with it. So I want to go through some of the core components, give you guys a little rundown on what exactly Wildfrost is, how the game works, and give you guys a chance to check out some gameplay. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think of this, and of course if you have any questions, similarly let me know. So to begin with, the premise for the game, or at least the story so to speak, is that the sun has basically frozen over and the world has succumbed to the Wildfrost, and the town of Snowdwell and its survivors are effectively the last bastion against an eternal winter. So you, as the player, have to build up a deck of powerful card companions and elemental items, and then battle to reach the Sun Temple and banish the frost once and for all. Now of course all of this is wrapped up in an incredibly awesome art style. I love this. Again, sort of Chucklefish is typically synonymous with really awesome art styles for their games, whether it be things like Eastwood or Wargroove. Either way, I love this kind of stuff. So I was immediately drawn in by the art style and just the overall presentation for the game. But one of the cool things about this is it's not just a deck builder, it's not just a card game, it is also a roguelike. And I do love my roguelikes. That is one of my favorite genres, and that is present throughout the entirety of this game. Basically, the way that it works is that firstly, there's a nice tutorial to sort of get you into the game. However, you begin by picking one of your leaders. These are of course randomly generated, or at least sort of random bonuses, and these will act as effectively your champion in your deck. Your leader is very important because if at any point they die, you lose and you have to restart your run. So you begin a run by picking a leader, and you can of course pick them based on their randomly generated bonuses. So you're then taken to an overworld and you basically navigate your way through the map. Initially you'll go into battles, you start by placing your leader on the field, and then you have an array of different cards. Some of them are attack based cards, some of them are items, elemental items, things that will apply debuffs, buffs, heal you, dish out damage, variety of different cards, and many of these you will of course collect throughout your time playing. You'll also have companions and units that you can also deploy alongside your leader, which of course is a very important part of the game because, as mentioned, if your leader dies, then you are in a very tricky situation. So placing them, position them in the right place so that they can of course take hits for your leader, different things like that, is of course a necessary strategic part of play. However, once you have defeated the opponent's leader, then you'll return to the overworld, and you're then often greeted by branching pathways where you can then choose from one of two different directions, and the different directions will invariably lead you by other nodes. Some of these nodes are frozen companions, and upon interacting with those, they will allow you to get more units, and of course you can pick one of the ones there. Sometimes you'll encounter shops, sometimes you'll encounter a sort of vending machine style thing that deploys charms, other times you will encounter sort of caves that give you money. Basically there are different nodes you will get along the way, including sort of treasure chests, other things like that, that will allow you to increase your card roster. You'll earn more cards as you go, build up your deck, and while of course every time you restart a run you will need to pick a different leader, some of these cards do appear to persist in your overarching deck. Now of course in between that you will then return to increasingly challenging battles, many of which are designed to send you back to the beginning. But therein lies one of the other roguelike elements, because when you do die and you do fail your run, you are then returned to the town. I mean, if you want to, you can of course just do a run again. One of the cool things is when you go back to the town, you then get to effectively rebuild elements of the town, and these then act as sort of different shops, different resources for expanding your deck, expanding other elements of the game. So it may well be one of those things where it's like, once you've killed 100 enemies, or once you say record a companion 5 times, or done X number of different things, there are different objectives, and once you complete those, it will allow you to rebuild a certain building, a certain structure, within the town. And then going to those will allow you to then do different things. The pet shop will of course allow you to unlock different companions, which you can then choose at the start of the game. These of course are very useful because they carry different bonuses. You'll get the workshop, which will of course allow you to gather different inventions. You'll get other things like that. So basically, every single time you die, you are progressing the town, which would then allow you to unlock more things, which then allows you to go back in a slightly more powerful state. Again, roguelike systems. One of the things I really enjoy about this, and of course many other roguelikes, is just how addictive this is and just how sort of pick up and play it is. You can dive in for a very quick session if you want to, or you can very easily lose track of time and sink in hours and hours, because every time you finish a run, you just immediately want to jump back in and go again, especially when you get super close and you really want to try and take out that boss. So overall, it is a really fun game. Again, it's presented in a fantastic art style with really cool and cute characters. It has fantastic music, it has an awesome gameplay system, and if you guys aren't even necessarily into card games, it doesn't necessarily go super deep, so don't expect Magic the Gathering, Runeterra, or sort of Hearthstone levels of complexity. It is very accessible, whilst of course still having necessary tactics and systems in place, so don't think this is easy, it definitely isn't, but at the same time, if card games aren't always your thing, don't necessarily overlook this game. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of gameplay from one of my last runs, so you can see this in action. But if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments down below, and of course do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more.